Have you ever noticed how some people are always online, always scrolling, always watching? Yeah, they almost never post anything? Not a picture, not a story, not even a simple update. They stay silent while everyone else shares every detail of their day. And because of this silence, people start making assumptions. Maybe they're shy. Maybe they're not confident. Maybe they're hiding something. Some even think they're unfriendly or uninterested in others. But what if none of that is true? What if the people who don't post are actually carrying a completely different kind of psychology, one that most of us never notice? Today, we're going to explore the real reason behind this silence. And trust me, it's far more meaningful than anyone expects. In fact, the more you understand it, the more you'll start to appreciate the quiet observers in the digital world. So stay with me till the very end, because the deeper we go, the more surprising it becomes. And if you love exploring the hidden side of human behavior, make sure to hit subscribe right now, because this journey is just getting started. Before we go any further, here's something most people forget. Not posting is also a form of communication. It's just a quieter one. Some people speak loudly on social media. They share their thoughts, their meals, their selfies, their opinions. But others communicate through silence. They express themselves by choosing what not to reveal. And that choice says more than 100 posts ever could. Their silence isn't accidental. It's intentional, thoughtful, and often deeply emotional. Some people simply feel more comfortable observing than participating. They don't need the world to see everything they're doing. They connect differently. They think differently. And their relationship with social media reflects that. Digital behavior is just like body language. It reveals personality traits, comfort levels, and emotional patterns. And the people who stay silent, they often have a unique psychological story that's worth paying attention to. So don't go anywhere. The most eye-opening part is still ahead. And if you're curious about what this silence really means, go ahead and subscribe, because we're about to uncover layers most people never talk about. One of the biggest hidden reasons people don't post on social media is simple but powerful. They're afraid of judgment. Not because they're weak, but because posting makes them feel exposed, like standing under spotlight they never asked for. Every picture, every caption, every story becomes something others can comment on, criticize, or misunderstand. And for someone who has ever been mocked, teased, or judged in the past, that feeling hits much deeper than most people realize. Maybe they once posted something harmless and someone laughed at it. Maybe they shared a photo and someone made a subtle, hurtful comment. Even small experiences like these stay in the mind and shape future behavior. Their silence today is often a response to wounds that nobody else sees. And then there's the pressure of comparison culture, a world where everyone seems to have a perfect life, a perfect body, a perfect family, a perfect everything. For many people, posting feels like entering a competition they never signed up for. They worry their life won't look exciting enough, successful enough, or Instagram-worthy enough. So instead of putting themselves on display, they choose to stay silent, not out of insecurity, but out of self-protection. Their quietness is a shield that keeps them safe from the emotional weight of being judged. Stay with me, because what comes next might surprise you. And if you're finding this eye-opening, take a second to hit subscribe so you never miss the rest of this journey. Another truth that people often overlook is this. Many non-posters aren't silent because they lack something. They're silent because they have something others don't. They have a high level of self-awareness. They think before they speak. They feel deeply. They observe everything. And because of this, they are very selective about what they share and who they allow into their personal world. For these individuals, posting online feels like opening a window into their private life. And that's not something they do lightly. They value emotional boundaries. They value control over their personal space. And they understand that once something is posted online, they no longer get to choose who sees it, questions it, or judges it. While others may see posting as fun or casual, non-posters often see it as oversharing. They prefer real conversations over curated images, private reflections over public performances. Their silence is intentional, thoughtful, and rooted in emotional maturity. In fact, some of the most grounded, self-aware people are the ones who share the least. Their life is rich, but not necessarily online. Their experiences are meaningful, but not performative. So don't mistake quiet for empty. Their silence may actually reveal a deeper, more centered personality than most people realize. If this perspective is opening your mind, keep watching. There's so much more to uncover. And while you're here, make sure to subscribe so you stay with me through the rest of this journey into the psychology of social silence. For many people who don't post on social media, the explanation is beautifully simple. They're introverts, and digital interaction drains them just as much as real-life interaction, sometimes even more. Posting is not just tapping a button. It invites reactions, messages, opinions, questions. It invites energy. And introverts, by nature, are careful about where their energy goes. They prefer listening over talking, observing over performing. They study the world quietly, noticing details others overlook. That silence is not emptiness, it's awareness. When an introvert posts something, it feels like they're raising their hand in a crowded room. It demands energy they rarely want to spend. They'd rather stay behind the scenes, watching, learning, and enjoying the content others share. Social media becomes a window for them, not a stage. Their silence is not a flaw. It's a form of emotional conservation. They protect their mental space the same way others protect their privacy. They understand themselves well enough to know that constant interaction, even digital interaction, can feel overwhelming. So they choose peace over performance, presence over pressure. And trust me, you want to keep watching, because the psychology gets even deeper from here. If this resonates with you so far, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this journey. Some people don't post not because they have nothing to say, but because they want everything they say to be perfect. And this perfectionism becomes a cage. They take photos, but never upload them. They write captions, but erase them 10 times. They record videos, but delete them because something fell off. Their standards are so impossibly high that nothing ever feels good enough to share. To them, posting isn't casual. It's a performance. And the fear of doing it wrong keeps them frozen. What if the picture doesn't look flattering enough? What if someone misunderstands a caption? What if they don't get enough likes? What if their post doesn't match the perfect image others seem to maintain? This inner pressure creates a cycle. Overthinking, hesitation, anxiety, silence. Even when they want to share something, their mind floods with doubts. They imagine criticism before it even happens. They feel responsible for how they might be perceived. So eventually, they choose not to post at all. But here's the fascinating part. Perfectionists often have deep emotional intelligence. They care so much because they want to be authentic, meaningful, understood. Their silence reflects how much they value intention and quality. Stay with me, because what comes next explains one of the strongest forces behind social silence. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Sometimes the quietest people online are the ones who have been hurt before. Maybe they once posted something vulnerable and someone laughed. Maybe a harmless picture became a target for rude comments. Maybe a private moment was twisted, criticized, or used against them. These experiences linger, even years later. A person's nervous system remembers the sting of embarrassment or the shock of unexpected judgment. Their silence becomes a form of emotional armor, protection from the digital world that once felt unsafe. For many, posting is not just sharing. It's reliving the moment they felt exposed, reliving the moment someone misunderstood them, reliving the moment they felt small. The body doesn't forget emotional pain easily. So even when they're on harmless platforms or surrounded by kind people, their brain whispers, "Be careful. This could happen again." The result? They retreat. They observe. They stay quiet where it feels safe. This isn't weakness. This is survival. Their silence is a reminder that healing takes time and courage grows slowly. And trust me, the deeper we go, the more you'll uncover about the hidden lives of non-posters. So before we continue, make sure you tap subscribe and stay until the very end, because the most eye-opening insights are still ahead. Some people simply don't feel the need to share their life online because their sense of self-worth doesn't come from public approval. They don't need likes to feel attractive, comments to feel appreciated, or followers to feel relevant. Their confidence comes from within, built through real experiences, personal growth, and meaningful relationships, not digital applause. For them, life is something to be lived, not performed. They enjoy moments without thinking, "How will this look online?" They don't measure a memory by how well it will fit into a story or a reel. They measure it by how present they were, how much they laughed, how deeply they felt it. Their joy is private, not something they need to display. These individuals often value genuine human connection. They prefer face-to-face conversations over emojis, private jokes over viral trends, and real intimacy over digital affection. They find satisfaction in being understood by a few close people rather than being seen by thousands of strangers. Their choice to stay quiet online is not about fear or insecurity. It is about contentment. They already feel fulfilled without external validation. They don't crave attention because their self-esteem isn't built on how others see them. They build their identity from the inside out, and this internal stability lets them move through the world with quiet confidence. Their silence is not a lack of expression. It is a sign of inner strength. They do not post because they do not need to. They are already at peace with who they are. For many people, posting on social media brings pressure. Pressure to look good, to stay relevant, to entertain, to impress, or to keep up an image. Non-posters step away from all of that. They choose emotional peace over digital noise. They know that the moment you share something online, it stops being yours. It becomes open to opinions, comparisons, criticism, and expectations. Quiet users value mental space. They protect their emotional world by sharing less. They don't want to spend energy replying to comments, worrying about who viewed their post, or thinking about whether people liked what they shared. They avoid the little anxieties that come with being publicly visible. For them, peace is more important than attention. Silence is more comfortable than constant interaction. They're not hiding, they're resting. They choose privacy because it keeps their mind calm and their heart steady. Minimal posting also reduces social comparison. When you don't participate in the online race, you automatically free yourself from competing. Non-posters understand that everyone's life looks perfect on social media. By stepping back, they avoid the emotional exhaustion that comes from measuring their life against someone else's highlight reel. Their peace comes from controlling what they allow into their mental world. They avoid unnecessary drama, misunderstandings, and conflicts. They choose not to overshare because they value their emotional energy. Their quietness online is actually a form of self-care for them. The less they post, the more they feel in control of their inner world. Their peace matters more than visibility, and they guard it with intention that a large number of non-posters are not disconnected. They are observant. They watch quietly, understand deeply, and move through social media with a thoughtful mind. Their silence is not lack of interest. It's a different way of engaging. These individuals enjoy studying human behavior. They notice patterns others overlook, who post for attention, who posts for validation, who shares out of insecurity, and who shares out of joy. They see the psychology behind trends, captions, photos, and interactions. They analyze more than they participate. Observers don't need to be in the spotlight to feel connected. They prefer to stand at the edge and take everything in. This distance gives them clarity. They avoid overexposure, misunderstandings, and unnecessary entanglements. Their quiet presence allows them to stay grounded. Instead of rushing to post, they reflect. Instead of seeking approval, they understand motivations. Their mind is active even when their profile is silent. They are the people who rarely speak, but when they do, their words carry weight. They don't post often, but they know more about the digital world than most active users. Their silence is a lens through which they understand people and society more deeply. Some people do post, but very selectively, and not for the public eye. Their social media is not empty, it's private. Only a few trusted friends see their photos, thoughts, or updates. The rest of the world sees nothing. This selective sharing reflects emotional discernment. They understand the difference between intimacy and exposure. They know that not every experience needs an audience, and that personal moments hold more value when shared with people who truly matter. For them, social media is a tool, not a stage. They use it intentionally to communicate, connect, or preserve memories, but always on their terms. This allows them to maintain control over their life while still nurturing relationships. They protect their personal space with quiet confidence. Their silence isn't avoidance, it's a choice. a choice to guard their mental and emotional well-being, while still being present in meaningful ways. If this perspective surprises you, keep watching, because we're about to explore why many non-posters are thriving, not missing out. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, because the rest of this journey is going to shift the way you see social silence entirely. For many quiet users, social media is not about showing off. It's about avoiding overload. Constant posting and engagement can be exhausting. Each comment, like, or notification demands attention, energy, and thought. Too much input can overwhelm the mind. Non-posters often practice digital minimalism. They prioritize simplicity, choosing when and how to engage rather than responding to every trend, challenge, or expectation. Their focus is on living in the moment, not documenting it constantly. They understand that their brain doesn't need more inputs. It needs clarity. By posting less, they reduce mental clutter, emotional stress, and unnecessary comparisons. They're not disconnected. They're intentional. They filter the noise and focus on what truly matters. Real-life experiences, genuine connections, and inner calm. This approach helps them maintain perspective. They watch, observe, and participate selectively. Their silence is not apathy, it's strategy. It allows them to live freely without the pressure of constant performance. Stay with me, because next, we'll uncover how emotional maturity transforms the way people use social media entirely. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to keep exploring these fascinating insights. Many people assume that those who rarely post are shy, insecure, or disinterested in others. Some think they're aloof, unfriendly, or socially awkward. But these assumptions couldn't be further from the truth. The silence of non-posters is rarely about avoidance. It's about intention. They use social media differently, not less purposefully. Each decision to post or not to post is thoughtful. Each moment of silence is deliberate. Their quiet presence can actually be a sign of strength. It reflects confident self-awareness and the ability to protect their emotional boundaries. Not posting doesn't mean they are disconnected. It means they are discerning. They know where to invest their attention, energy, and vulnerability. Silence can communicate as much, if not more, than constant posting. It can be a subtle way of saying, I value my time. I value my peace. I value myself. So the next time someone scrolls past your feed without posting, remember, their quietness might not be absence. It might be wisdom. Stay with me, because next we'll explore the beauty of living unseen and why privacy can be one of life's most underrated treasures. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe to keep walking this journey with me. Not every moment needs an audience. Some experiences are meant to be felt, not displayed. The people who post less often understand this deeply. Living quietly allows them to experience life fully, without distraction or the pressure of validation. Privacy becomes a tool for richness, not secrecy. Moments of joy, reflection, or growth are savored, not captured for likes or approval. Their lives are filled with depth precisely because they are unseen. They live for themselves, not for others. They notice the small details, the laughter, the quiet conversations, the sunsets, the fleeting thoughts, that others might miss while busy sharing every moment. Silence, in this sense, is a form of freedom. It's freedom from comparison, drama, and constant evaluation. And it's a reminder that a life lived authentically doesn't need witnesses. It only needs presence. Keep watching, because next we'll discuss how even those who rarely post can still build healthy, intentional online habits without losing their peace. Just because someone posts rarely doesn't mean they must avoid social media entirely. Healthy habits are about balance and intention. Non-posters can choose to share when they want to, not when they feel pressured. Even one meaningful post can create connection without compromising privacy. The key is to post with purpose, not obligation. Small steps matter. Sharing a personal achievement with a trusted circle or a thought that feels important can strengthen relationships without inviting unnecessary stress. Silence remains a choice, not a flaw. By understanding their own limits and desires, non-posters can engage online on their terms. Social media becomes a tool, not a trap. They remain in control of their attention, energy, and peace of mind. And remember, choosing not to post is valid, and choosing to post intentionally is also valid. There's no right or wrong, only what works for them. Stay tuned, because next we'll reflect on the emotional truth behind non-posting and why it's something to celebrate. Not judge it. Let's take a moment to celebrate those who don't feel the need to constantly post. Their silence is valid, psychologically normal, and often deeply intentional. It's not a weakness. It's a reflection of self-awareness, emotional strength, and inner peace. These individuals remind us that life isn't about display, recognition, or validation. It's about depth, authenticity, and presence. They value real experiences over online impressions, quality over quantity, and connection over performance. Social media doesn't define worth. Your value isn't measured by likes, comments, or shares. It's measured by your presence, your growth, and your inner clarity. Some of the strongest minds speak the least, and some of the wisest hearts remain unseen. So whether you post a lot, a little, or not at all, remember that intentional living and emotional authenticity are what truly matter. Take pride in your choices, honor your peace, and respect the quiet power in yourself and others. Keep watching, because the final part of this journey is all about connection and how we can grow together while respecting our own boundaries. That if you felt understood today, if this journey into the psychology of non-posters resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video that explores the mind, emotions, and human behavior. Here, we go deeper than surface-level assumptions. We explore why people think, feel, and act the way they do. We learn not just about others, but about ourselves. Join this community of curious minds, thoughtful observers, and emotionally aware individuals. Let's continue learning, reflecting, and growing together. Your presence here matters. And by subscribing, you become part of this journey, a journey where silence, depth, and inner wisdom are valued just as much as voice and visibility.